Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. On today's video I'll show you how to make this reversible collar. First I'll show you how I make a pattern for my detachable collar. To make a pattern for my collar I'll be using my t-shirt, pins, pen, scissors, a ruler and 2 sheets of see-through plastic. Now I'll show you how I make a pattern. I'm placing this see-through plastic sheet on a t-shirt and I'm pinning that plastic sheet on a t-shirt like that. Next I'm tracing a pattern from this t-shirt. I'm tracing the back neckline like that and shoulder seams there. And the shoulder seam will be 12 centimeters wide. So I'm marking 12 centimeters on one shoulder and 12 centimeters on other shoulder. Also, I'm tracing a front neckline there, removing all of the pins. So here's my pattern. Next, I'm placing other plastic sheet on top of this sheet and I'm tracing front pattern like that. So this is the front pattern, looks like that. And this is the back pattern. And I'll add 12 centimeters all along the neck pattern at the back. So the measurement from back neckline to back hem is 12 centimeters. Next I'm folding my pattern in half so all of the lines match and I'm pinning those 2 layers together and I'll cut the pattern out. But before I do that I will trace that line, back hemline, so I can see where to cut, and I'm cutting my back pattern out. So here's my back pattern cut out. Next I'm folding my back pattern in half and I'm cutting centers out there. And this is the back pattern. Next I'll create a front pattern. I'm folding my front pattern in half so all the pattern lines are matching. Next I'm pinning both layers together. Next I'll increase the neckline by 2 centimeters there. So I'm drawing 2 centimeter neckline there, so it's a bit higher. The drop of the front pattern will be 17 centimeters and 2 centimeters away from the edge there, 2 centimeters. Next I'm drawing that line for the front drop there, which is 17 centimeters, and this side I'm just gonna draw a straight line there. Next I'll cut out my front pattern pieces. I'm removing all of the pins and my front pattern pieces are ready and they will go on top of there like that, so it'll look like that, my collar. So these are 2 front pieces. To make my collar I'll be using black jersey Liverpool fabric and scuba leopard print fabric. They look like that. I'm placing both fabric pieces so the right sides are inside, and I will be using 2 velvet ribbons which are 1 centimeter by 45 centimeters each. I'm burning edges on these velvet ribbons so they don't fray. And now I will cut out the pattern out of these fabric pieces. I'm placing back pattern on top of these 2 fabric pieces and I'm pinning the back pattern on top. Next I will pin on these 2 front pattern pieces. Next I'll cut out these pattern pieces all around with seam allowance 5 millimeters. I'm cutting out all of the pattern pieces now. I'm cutting center notches on the back pattern, on the back hemline there, and on the back neckline. All my pattern pieces are cut out now. Next I will sew these pattern pieces together. First I'm removing these plastic sheets of the fabric and I'm removing black fabric of the leopard print fabric. Next I'm placing front pattern piece on top of the back pattern piece like that, and I'm pinning both shoulder seams together, and the right side of the fabric is inside, and also there and there. Next, I'll do the same on the black fabric, but first I will pin my label on the center, there where the center notch is. So I'm pinning my label on top and also all around. And now I'm placing the front button piece on the back button piece, and the right side of the fabric is inside. Pinning both shoulders together and doing same on other side. And also there and other shoulder. Next, I will sew these seams together. So first I will sew my label on. So I have sewed on my label, looks like that. Next I will sew these shoulder seams with 5mm seam allowance. So both shoulder seams are sewed on the black fabric, looks like that. I'll repeat the same on the leopard print fabric. Also I will sew 5mm seam allowance on leopard print shoulders. So both shoulder seams are sewed on leopard print fabric. Next, I will iron flat these button pieces. So I'm ironing flat all of the shoulder seams, like that. And here they are, all ironed flat, both button pieces. Next, I will pin on these two corners these velvet ribbons. I'm pinning these velvet ribbons there, 5mm of the edge, on both corners of this black button piece, 5mm of the edge, and I'm pinning other two ribbon edges in the middle so I don't sew them together when I sew the buttons. Next, I'm placing the leopard print right side on the top of the black fabric right side, pinning center notches together on the neckline and on the hemline there. Next, I'm pinning the shoulder seams together, leopard print shoulder seam and black fabric shoulder seam, there, pinning corners together, like that, and repeating same on other side. Both button pieces are pinned together. I will leave this bit open, I won't sew there, I'll sew all around there. Now I'll sew my both button pieces together with 5mm seam allowance. Both button pieces are sewed all around. It looks like that. Next, I'm cutting excess fabric off the corners on both sides. And all around the neckline there, I will cut small notches so the collar bends easily when it's turned around on the right side. It looks like that. Next, I will turn my collar to the right side using this opening, removing all of the pins from the ribbons. There, looks like that. And from other ribbon, looks like that, that edge. Next, I will sew up this opening with an invisible stitch. I'm using thread and a needle, and I'm sewing up that opening closed. Next, I'll pin down all of the edges flat so it's easy to iron. And this is how it looks after I pinned all of the edges flat. Next, I'm ironing all of these edges flat. And my collar is finished. So this is the leopard print side of the collar. I'll try this collar on now. And this is the black side of the collar. Looks like that. Now I'll try on my black detachable collar. If you have any questions how I made this reversible collar, please comment down below in a comment box. I will add all materials which I used to make this collar in the description box. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you next time. Love, Anita.